counterpoint to
Yeah,
that.
Anton, I see you shaking your head there. You don't agree your lack of recent trophies would be a deterrent for the player?
No, I don't agree because, for instance, if Rodrygo were to join Arsenal, for instance, Arsenal would be a better team than City. They would be almost on par with Liverpool, and Arsenal is like this close. If you are Rodrygo, you change the fortunes of Arsenal, where Arsenal are in a fantastic position to then be able to deliver on those trophies, and you have been the guy there that's made the difference. That's a legacy mover for you, where you've taken a gamble, you've gone for a team that hasn't yet gotten over the line. And if you're that one player that changes Arsenal from being the perennial second place team to being a team that is now winning trophies, especially the big ones, I think that you have to take into account your impact on the team and how you change it. You can't just say, "Oh well, Arsenal haven't won any trophies." You're not backing yourself as a player in that scenario.
I've heard the same spiel about, we're this close, and this guy will be the one to get us over the line
No,
for the
but
past 2 years.
The thing is that we've never done that one last bit of business that has gotten us to that position. It's been very frustrating. Like, this was what was happening last year. I thought we were in a great position last year, and we literally, if we bought who we bought last year, we would have won the Premier League. Like, we would have. You wouldn't have.
I thought it was injuries. What happened?
The injury is because of the fact that Arteta kept relying on the same players and overcooking those players because he didn't have the options. A guy was coming back from injury and he couldn't just bring him back slowly. No, he had to throw them right into the fire. And
he could have done, but he just didn't trust the options that he had.
So can I ask you something? If you sign Rodrygo and Liverpool sign Alexander Isak, are you stronger than them?
I think they're still a little bit stronger than us, but I think we would be filled at every single position on our team. I think that, it really depends. It really, really depends, because at that point, I think we can compete with them, and the football is won on the pitch, not necessarily on the team sheet. And I think we're right in that stratosphere. Whereas if we don't add in a Rodrygo or an Eze, we're not in the conversation, I believe.
Can I just play host for a minute here, right? I get that you guys don't. Last season, I'm a bit confused now by, maybe not by things you all said, but Arsenal have been laughed at, not just last year, but forever, of always being one piece of the jigsaw short of completing it. Last year, it was if they'd have bought an elite striker, their season could have been different. So then Anton says, if we'd have had a Zubimendi for midfield depth, if we'd have had a striker scoring 50 goals a season like Gyökeres, he then gets laughed at for saying that their season could have been different. We spent the whole campaign as a channel saying that Arsenal were missing those components. And then an Arsenal fan said, with the quality we've signed this summer, if it was there last year, we could have or would have won the league. I don't see how that's a laughable opinion when we spent the whole year telling Arsenal fans that's what they were short of. Equally, if we spend our time, and by the way, this isn't me defending Arsenal, it's me defending the logic. I'm trying to challenge the logic. If we always say that Arsenal one player short, how is it illogical for an Arsenal fan to say if we were to sign a player like Rodrygo, that could get us over the line? Because if they don't sign him, I believe everybody's going to say they were missing that one final piece to get over the line. So it can't work both ways, can it? It's either Rodrygo joins and they can win the league, or even with Rodrygo, they're not winning the league. I don't think we can hold both those opinions at the same time, can we? As in both of them being out and out facts.
We did also say that Liverpool didn't care about the last 7 games of the league because they'd already won it. So logic would suggest that if they had won those games, they would have finished ahead of Arsenal anyway. I'm
we're completely rewriting history here, though. It's kind of like time is a very interesting thing. You change one little detail and it has a knock-on effect. Like, we're talking about the start of the season. If we went in with Victor Gyökeres and Martin Zubimendi, even put Madueke in that squad last year ahead of Raheem Sterling, for instance, Arsenal is a lot better. Saka doesn't get injured if we're able to rotate and put in Madueke when Saka is flagging. Like Arteta is playing Saka every single week, regardless of how he feels. He'd limp off the pitch, 70 minutes in a Champions League game, and he's starting 2 days later at Selhurst Park. Like that was the reality of Arsenal. You have a Madueke in there last season. Saka doesn't get hurt for ages.
But then this goes away from we were just one piece away, because now you've said if we had all 5 signings that we made this summer last season, we'd have been better. We can't just move one club signings to one season, because then I go, well, what if we had Verts last season, and what if we had all these guys last season? We would have been even stronger than those games that we were.
Instead of Nick Jackson, and he didn't get injured in December along with Mark Guiu, then I could have won the league. But now we're doing if buts and maybes, and it's like.
My gripe is going into the summer. There was the occasional mention of it, but I wasn't being told left wing is what will win Arsenal the Premier League this season. I was told the one piece that we're missing all season is the striker. And now that you've got the striker, and I'm now in. Oh no, the one piece has always been the winger. We need to get rid of Martinelli and get a top guy in. Why? But I thought you had your piece now in your striker. You got Victor Gyökeres, Mask and all that. You don't. You should be able to manage with the left wing. You bought your left wing in Madueke, because I promise you right now, you do not spend 55 million quid on someone to be 1,000 minutes a season behind Bukayo Saka. You don't. He's going to play on that left at points. So this is the part where I get lost in this whole. It just feels like the goalpost change. It was. This summer, what we need to do is get the top number 9. You get the top number 9. No, what we need to do is get the top left winger.
In fairness,
the goalposts have changed because you guys have also gotten stronger.
But also there is that. But I do remember Brandon coming on last year for many match reactions saying in the summer, Terry, we need 5, 6, 7 players. Maybe it's because and it's one thing we're adding back to the football terrace this season is more rivals coming on. Rivals match reactions, and maybe that's why you guys didn't hear it as much, but we had multiple callers all season that said Arsenal need more in midfield, more in the wings, and a striker. So maybe that's why I feel differently about this debate than you guys do. They definitely needed that number 9, and I still think a Gyökeres scoring 40 goals last season could have changed the course of the entire campaign. I do get what you're saying, David, that they took their foot off the gas later on in the campaign, but they wouldn't have been able to they wouldn't have won it that early if Arsenal were also better and had won more games, because they wouldn't have won it so early. So it's kind of there. But look, I don't think Rodrygo does go to Arsenal, by the way, after saying all of this. I think City are going to end up getting this guy. I do think that Arsenal could just leave themselves a little bit short this season to be able to win it. They're going to make the top 4. I'm not buying in any of this nonsense that they're in a top 4 race and they're going to scrape it. I think the current top 4 will finish in the top 4, and I think they will all be better than they were last year. Maybe buying Liverpool. I think Liverpool will finish the season on similar points, but that's because I think there's going to be more improved teams this year. The points total is not important for Liverpool, but that's the top 4 going into this season. But I just don't. I think Spurs are now going to get Eze, and it felt 2 weeks ago. It felt like Arsenal had that all tied up. They were going to sell a few players. They were going to get it done. Well, I'm not saying assuming. We're going by the reports that were out.
I'm saying that Arsenal fans. And every piece of analysis I had seen on the internet, everybody just put Eze in there, assuming that he would be an Arsenal player. It was all like that's what kind of makes this harder when you're seeing the links for Eze pop up. We've been waiting since Gyökeres for something to build up with the Eze stuff, and all of a sudden it's like you see Tottenham's name next to Eze instead of ours, and you're like, Arsenal, what are you doing? Like that's sort of the reason why Arsenal fans are so upset, about the situation. And which is why, from at least from a PR standpoint, he has to do something. I'm sorry, he has to make sure that he gets one of these 2 players. And I don't think that Arsenal is as much distance from Eze as you think. I think that they are just playing with fire at the moment. And they need to make a decision very quickly. They can still get Eze very much if they give up on Rodrygo tomorrow and go, you know what, that's not happening. Let's just go get this Eze stuff done. It's still a possibility for sure. Semi Mockbell was saying that. And at the same time, we sell Trossard in a couple days. I see the Villa thing is heating up. That also changes the situation. They're also waiting for these sales. That's the whole thing is frustrating for me as well. Because we could easily just buy the player and make the sales afterwards. Anyway.
No,
I
I get that.
Arsenal,
Sorry,
Arsenal,
last point to you, David. Go on.
sorry, Arsenal aren't moving like they want to win the league, and it's very confusing to me why they're not. I don't quite get what's going on at the club, because all their fans are screaming Berta this, Berta that, and oh my god, he got 5 mil off of Gyökeres's signing. He did also waste like 20 days. Like I know again, like 5 mil in the grand scheme of things isn't much, but he did waste a lot of time on that signing. And then they went in for Madueke, and everyone was telling them, if you sign Madueke, you can't really sign anybody else in that position because he's going to have to play there, because Chelsea aren't going to let him go for free, or they're not going to get him go for cheap. And now they've bought Madueke, they can't get other players that I like. Eze gets Arsenal closer to a title than Madueke does. If I'm going to win a league, I'm getting my absolute musts out of the way first, and then Madueke can be a bonus at the end. I would have done it the other way around. And if Spurs, and also if Spurs are smart, Spurs should go and get Eze now, because if you go and get Savinho, and then Arsenal then come in for Eze, it's now a 50-50. You're better off going to get Eze, and then when Arsenal are like, oh my god, we need a left winger, there's nobody left, because if we're all assuming Rodrygo goes to City, then that's it for them.
At the same time, I feel like there's a situation here where if Tottenham make a move and they make a bid, and their bid is accepted, there might be a situation where Crystal Palace go, hey, Arsenal, like kind of like, you're at a wedding, you're like, speak now or forever hold your peace. Now it's now or never. We're going to give him to Tottenham now. Do you get
I mean, Palace will definitely reach out. Like every selling club, they're going to want. Man United just had a bid that's come in that we're going to accept for Roma. We'll definitely get back in contact with Juve and all the other clubs to go. Listen, you're going to have to match it or better it, because that's what you want to create. I suppose is a bidding war. So that will certainly happen. But viewers, look, give us your thoughts on how you think that's going to.